Okay, so I'm a major supporter of Death of the Author. The idea that a work and creator should be unrelated to each other. Mainly because a work should be judged on its own merits, regardless of who created it. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. What makes it good? What makes it bad? And what enjoyment could people get out of it? It's how I go about with these reviews. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a pipe dream. Like it or not, we can't always ignore the people that create said work. Hell, some of the fun is seeing the context of which a work was released. But sadly, art doesn't live in a vacuum. And I'll admit that I myself can't read certain books because of the baggage around them. Oh, your day is gonna come. I'm bringing this all up because the author of today's book carries nothing but baggage. Just the mention of his name is enough to drive people mad with rage. I'm going to try to keep things civil and equal-headed. After all, we're all here just to enjoy books. So let's talk about L. Ron Hubbard. For those of you who don't know, L. Ron Hubbard was a pulp fiction writer from the 30s and 40s. By the 50s, he would publish a self-help book called Dianetics, which, along with several other works, would become the foundation of the Church of Scientology. Yep, that guy. Told you this carried a lot of baggage. Then in 1982, he released his most well-known work, Battlefield Earth, as a celebration for his comeback to the world of science fiction. Funny, I thought he never left. Sorry. I promise that's the only Scientology joke I have. But there is one more thing Hubbard wrote before his death. It too has the word Earth in the title, but you don't see it come up that often. From what I found on his websites, this is considered his magnum opus. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we dive into Mission Earth, Volume 1, The Invaders' Plan, by L. Ron Hubbard. This is gonna hurt. The idea of the book is simple. Aliens want to invade Earth.
Of course!
This plot, though, is incredibly convoluted. Okay, there's this evil alien empire called the Voltar Confederation. You know they are evil because they label their empire Confederation. Bastards. They have their eyes to conquer the planet Lipto P3, or as its inhabitants call it, Earth! To make it a base for their empire. But this empire is on a strict conquer the galaxy schedule and won't be near Earth for about 100 years, until a new scout report gives them terrifying news. You're going to love this. The present inhabitants are wrecking the planet. 1. They are burning up their atmospheric oxygen at a rate that will cease to support life long before the planned date of our invasion timetable. 2. The planet has glacial polar caps, and the increase of surface temperature, combined with wandering polar caps, could melt these and cover the bulk of their continental areas with water, making the planet almost useless. You heard it right, folks. Global warming is ruining our planet from an alien invasion.
What a twist!
The Voltar believe they should go ahead of schedule and attack. However, Chief Executive of the Coordinated Information Apparatus, Lumbar Hiss, proposes another plan. Without alarming or alerting Blipto P3, it is possible to infiltrate an agent into the population. This agent, carefully and competently handled by us, could leak technical data into the normal channels of the planet. Data which would restrain their planetary pollution without improving their defense. The main reason he doesn't want Voltar to attack Earth is because he is using it to stage a coup against the Voltar Empire. How? never explained till the very end of the book. Kind of makes you wonder why the hell they care so much about Earth throughout the whole damn book. He plans to have the agent go to Earth and fail the mission while sending in fake reports to get their attention off Earth. Why? 'Cause he is Space Hitler. No, really, it's even stated in the book. It gets approved and thus begins Mission Earth. That is the general plot of the story, and I haven't even told you who the main characters are. Okay, so Lombard brings on Sultan Grisk, a cowardly man of the apparatus, to handle the mission because Lombard thought he almost ruined his plans. Sultan is supposed to be this sneaky and smart spy, as well as the bad guy because he smells bad. No, seriously. Because we're shabby, I thought. Because we're dishonest. Because we're just crooked thugs and never should be permitted to go near decent people. Because we stink. Most of the time, he's a complete idiot when the plot demands it. Then there is the man they bring on to be their agent. He's the one who sent in the original report in the first place, and apparently is the greatest man that has ever lived. You want to know what his name is? General Heller. Yes, that is his actual name. That is the stupidest name I have ever heard in my life. There's honestly nothing you could say about Heller, because Heller is perfect. Literally perfect. He's likable, honorable, can turn a supposed dominatrix lesbian into his sweetheart, and has a big penis. No, really, they actually spend several passages talking about how big his penis is as a way to make Sultan hate him more. I am not making this up. Heller is so perfect he can't be critiqued because there is nothing to say about him. He is just Heller. Oh god, this book sucks. I told you this book is convoluted, but here's the kicker. This is all supposed to be satire. You see, the book is told from Sultan's point of view as a confession and released as a scandalous expose of the mission. Before we even get to the story, we get a forward from the Volturian censors that, you know what? I'll let them explain. Let me state it boldly and plainly. There is no such planet as Earth. Whether it is given its local reputed name or Blipto P3 in a pretended location on astrographic charts. If it ever existed at all, it certainly does not exist today or even within living memory. Get it? The censors telling us the book is a work of fiction to cover their failed mission? Cutting any tension within the series since we now know the whole thing is a failure? Satire! Also, take a look at the organization name Sultan works for. In the book, they are the seedy underbellies of the government, doing whatever means to keep the peace, seeing themselves as the real workers keeping the Confederacy together. Frankly, it's hard to see how a government could run at all without clever and dedicated people such as us in their employ. The whole structure might come tumbling down. Geez, I wonder what organization this is supposed to represent. It's oh so hidden, I can't possibly figure it out. Satire! Also, all the swear words are bleeped out, because the machine that prints the books is part of a purity league. Satire? Yeah, the satire kinda, sorta, 100% suck. But you wanna know something? Everything I just described to you is only a sixth of the actual book. You wanna know what else happens?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Well, stuff does happen, but it's bloated filler where very little of it actually matters. The entire book is just an overextended prologue of Sultan and General Heller synchronously blasting off into space. The idea is that Sultan might not get the mission off the ground because of a romance with Heller and the dominatrix, But we already know that from the beginning that they get to Earth. So none of this supposed tension matters, nor does it add anything to the book. Which leads into pointless subplots with revelations you can see a mile away that do nothing but delay the launch. Like when Sultan keeps getting sick whenever he thinks about doing harm to Heller, and he never makes the connection he's getting sick when thinking about Heller. Or they have teaching devices that hypnotize you. There is even one point where they spend over 60 pages dedicated to them getting a ship, and that's all that happens. They get a ship and nothing else. The book is supposed to be a satire of pulp stories from Hubbard's early years, but the problem is it hasn't changed with the times. It's a 1980s pulp novel that thinks it's in the 1940s. It's overbloated, overplotted, the characters are inane, and the situations are nothing but hilarious, seeing how Hubbard tries to bend over backwards to extend the story way more than he should have. You could have cut half the things from this book and would have changed nothing. Not to mention portrayals of characters that are downright offensive, like making homosexuals only effeminate or monsters, women who are not attached to men fiends, and at one point I think Sultan goes yellow-face. May I remind you, this is considered his magnum opus. There really isn't that much to enjoy out of this book. I avoid it as much as possible. What about you, Internets? What's your opinion about Mission Earth? I mean, seriously, you look everywhere around this book and how beloved and praised it is, it's actually kind of hilarious. This stuff here is more satirical than in the actual book. I mean, look at this critic's praise right here. Ironic, exciting, romantic, and hilarious. 4 things this novel isn't. Who even said that? Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Mission Earth. Volume 1 of the biggest science fiction decanology ever written. Decanology? What the hell is a decanology? Decanology. A group of 10 volumes. 10? 10? You're telling me that there are 9 more volumes after this? Okay, I can do this. Calm, clear-headed. Screw it. You, L. Ron Hubbard, and this bloated piece of crap you call your magnum opus. I repeat, I am not going to review 9 more pieces of your crap. 1 volume was more than enough for me. God. Next week, something I actually give a damn about. Till next time, have a nice day. Christ! I am not...
If I bother you, never bother me. I feel happy and fine. Ha-ha! Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Having got a lot, I don't need a lot. Coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight,